Alright, so this is Alignergy 3B. You're going to need a stick of some sort, a broomstick. If you don't have that, it's okay. You don't need it. It's not imperative. One block at least. And then maybe a strap for your shin feedback, but it's not necessary. Wall space, but not necessary. And the intervals are going to be 50-20. We'll go anywhere between 3 to 4, maybe 5 rounds if you want to do some extra rounds. And we'll get started here in a little bit once people get signed in. So what you can do is just continue to roll what we did before the shin. Hey! Okay, I'm just going to quickly tell you what we're doing today. Okay. And then we'll do a practice round, and then we'll probably get through a few more rounds after that. So we'll do standing mountain today with a stick. If you don't have a stick nearby and don't want to get one, that's fine. But we're going to go, so you can use your thumbs, and then we're going to go into flexion. And then the third round we'll move. You grab a stick. Yeah. If you have one, it's nice, but it's like if you don't have one, it's not the end of the world.
Come on, I just don't want to stand up.
I mean, if you want to just lay there, I can just demo and record all this so I have another recording. It's all good. You just sit there, roll your neck, and I'll just show you, I'll show and tell the sequence. I mean, look at the sequence I made up. So you get your stick. That will pretty much be all you really need though. If you have a block and want to use it, you can at some point. Sometimes this does get weird with the stick, so you do use the block. Push it back so that it's flush with your legs. So we're going to get in standing mountain with a stick. So feet hip width apart. Block's going to be right above the knees. Hands right outside your shoulders, or outside of your hips, your leg shoulders, you know. I can, yeah, there you go, that's better. Okay, so you're gonna pull this gently, pull the stick gently into your thighs, and that's gonna help pull the shoulders back. Head over hips, the belly button lifts up to the spine, you're squeezing the block, squeezing your butt. Keeping those shins forward, that looks good. And then what we'll do the second round is we'll go into flexion. So you're going to try and keep those shins forward so you're not going back on the heels, and push the bottom of your butt up towards the ceiling. And now I'm too far forward, so I'm going to come back. There we go. Sticking that chest out. And then you're looking at the ground but in front of you. Squeezing that block, pulling the shoulder, pulling the stick into your shins into the stick. Deep breath in, slowly coming up. Stick should be touching you still. And then go ahead and relax. So we'll do some of that. Hold at the bottom, and then the next round we'll go into slow movement up and down. And then if we do get to the last round, we'll do full to full extension. So we'll do that right now, so at least we'll get it in no matter what. So you're going to start feet hip width apart. And then chop, so you take your arms back. Sit your butt back, and then sit the butt up. Push your butt up towards the ceiling, shoulders back. And then you can reverse the fold. Coming up, pulling those ribs down, straightening the legs, opening up the chest. Do another one. Butt comes out. Shoulders pull away from the ears as you reach. And then if you can, come into a squat, otherwise stay in your fold. And then coming up, ribs in, shoulders down, arms out. Alright, go ahead and relax, walk around. Feels good, just move. Alright, next up we got side warrior warm-ups. Okay, so feet hip width apart, you're going to take a step back. And your back foot's going to be angled. The front heel is going to be pretty much in line with the back arch. The front leg, the knee is slightly in front of the heel. And then we're going to turn away from the front leg and face away from it. Yeah. Now what'll happen is that front knee will start to come in. So you can take your hand to your hip and pull that outer hip down. Keep that knee forward. The back leg, you put your hand on your back thigh. I'm going to just slap it a little bit and work into your hand, squeezing your butt. Pull the arch towards the front leg pull the knee or the heel towards your back arch. This hip we usually like to spill forward, so you want to, if you want, you can place your hand on your hip and just pull it back a little bit. Just make sure you're not locking the knee out. And then your ribs are in. If you want, you can bring the arms out. Bend the knee a little bit more, going into like a lunge. And then if you want to do the warm up, you straighten the leg by pulling the heel and then bending the knee, but you're still pulling the heel. Squeezing the butt on the back leg. And then to get out of it, bend the knee. You can turn to the front leg, lift the heel, and step forward and out. Walk around. And we'll go to the other side. Step back. All right. So the knee is slightly in front of the ankle. Back leg, you're squeezing your butt. That inner thigh works back. Try not to let that hip fall forward. If you want, you can place your hand on your back and pull the tailbone down and pull the belly button up towards the spine. And then the outer hip likes to come up, so we're going to bring that down. Back leg squeezing your butt. Head over hips. Nice and tall. So as this knee works forward, this heel pulls back. It brings this energy back into the hips, this lift. You can bend the knee, straighten your leg. What'd you say?
Both of my knees are kind of bothering me right now.
Okay, does it feel okay to have it more of a straight like this? Or face forward?
It's like that, I don't know, it's the getting into the position that's hard. Like when I'm down here, I'm okay.
Okay. One thing you could try is either use your stick or like something with support, a chair or something, just to like get yourself into there so you're taking a little bit off. Because if it doesn't bug you to be in it, then maybe you just need a little support to get into it. Yeah. Another way you can get into it, let's try this. So you'll start with your legs wide.
Okay.
We're going to go the other direction since you just did that leg. So we're going to face the other direction. That's going to be your right, I think. Yes. So the right leg, you're going to lift the toes and then, or whatever, however you need to. You're going to pivot that foot, point it that way.
Okay.
Yep. And then the back leg, you're going to turn it so that it's angled towards that front leg.
Okay.
And then turn away from the front leg. How's that?
Yeah.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll get into it and out of it like that then.
Well, no, I think the key was not having my right foot like so straight.
Oh, okay, you had it at like 90 degrees.
That's what's helping.
Yeah. Yeah, you gotta make sure. That would definitely be very hard because you're externally rotating but then trying to bring internal rotation. Yeah, I feel that. That doesn't feel good. Good. So back leg at like 45. So we'll do that. And then we're going to alternate that with leg lifts. So that's where we're laying on our side and doing the different rotations. So we'll just get there when we get there so we have time to get there. Next up, we'll do cat-cow. So you're on your hands and knees, pins and needles facing each other. Okay, so you're breathing in, coming up. Exhale, coming forward, pushing the chest, the heart through the chest. And the different variations you can always do is pull the hip up towards the shoulder, I'm getting a little bit of side to side, trying to make sure the elbows aren't locking out. I'm saying this as I'm doing it myself. You can move the hips around in circles. And then we're gonna also do kneeling table, like the second round, getting the back flat. So just holding there, belly button working up, back of the heart, that looks good. Tug those shoulders back. Yeah, lift your neck. Good. You can always lift the knees. Come down. All right. Relax. And let's see, stand up. We're going to do warrior 3. So we're going to start on one leg. The first step is just getting your stability, so don't take it to a place where you don't need to go. This gets better as you warm up. Okay, squeezing your butt on the leg that's going to stay planted on the ground. Your head is over hips. You're going to lift this leg here, and that one's going to go back. And the second it goes back, you're going to be extending out through the heel with the toe down, and then try and get your hips to point straight ahead. So you want to get set up before you start tipping at the hip, pulling that tailbone down, ribs in, chest is lifted, and then keeping the shin forward. Tip at the hip, trying not to bring too much weight to the front of the foot, so trying to stay more on the top part of the heel. So you can get to wherever you need to stay balanced. Always hold a wall if you need to, or a stick, or a couch, or a chair. Holding here, lifting out of the hip of the leg that's on the ground. You want the knee tracking between the first, second toe. Come on, buddy. And then this lifted leg, pulling the hip point up, try not to let it open up. Whoa, there we go, lost my balance. Whew. Squeezing your butt on the lifted leg, and slowly start to come out of that. Hard. And then we'll add movement to it, just going in and out of it for the second round. But right now, let's just go to the second leg. Getting that heel under hips, squeeze your butt, lift, hips forward. Keeping the shin forward. Wow. There we go. Tipping at the hip. Extending back through the heel with the lifted leg. Pulling that belly button to the spine. Lifting out of the leg that's on the ground. Keeping that knee tracking between first, second toe. Creating space in the hip. And I'm always giving myself feedback here, but you can always have your hands to prayer or up overhead. And slowly coming up. We'll walk around. Gosh, that one was just, that one's tough.
And then I ever have before. Amazing.
Okay, last one is the pelvic tilt. And to bridge. So bring the block between your knees, inner thighs. I always scoot my shoulders down before I even get into it. Sometimes just need to do a little stretch before you get into it. Okay, so you're going to feel the heels pressing down and pulling towards your butt gently. Now what we want to do at the back is we want to get it nice and flat. So you don't want to be rounding and pushing into the ground. You also don't want to be arching away from the floor. One way to help get this is putting the thumbs on the bottom of your rib cage and then your fingers underneath those thumbs on the top of your hip bones. And what you're going to do is compact your abs. So you're going to bring your fingers and your thumbs together, and that's going to help. What you want to make sure you don't do is go all a little too far, right? So try and get that back nice and flush in that area there. Pulling the belly button to the spine. And then from there, You can pull the ribs down so they're not flaring out. Kind of scan the back side of the body, making sure that it's nice and flat and flush to the ground. Pulling the shoulders down. You can have your arms extended or bent. And here's the pelvic tilt versus being relaxed. And then from here we'll go to bridge, so the hips are coming up. Ribs are staying down. The forehead works towards your heart. You can give yourself feedback pulling the tailbone down and the belly button to the spine. Running your hand down your back, trying to make sure it's nice and flat if you can. If not, that's okay. Pulling the shoulders down. Still squeezing that block. And then slowly staying active, coming down. And relax. And then going slowly up and down if we get there. Okay. That's round one. Look it, we did it. Stand up. Let's get into the intervals. Why don't we start, since we just did the first round, we'll start the intervals on round 2, and I'll put a little bit of round 1 into it. Still just do what I say, but that's what we're gonna do. Okay. It'll still be fun. Okay, we'll start with standing mountain. We will go into flexion, but we're gonna hold in standing mountain for a little bit. Okay, here we go. Hands outside your hips, head over hips, compacting the abs, squeezing that block, drawing those legs in. The tailbone works down, chest lifts, ribs in. And then keeping your shins forward, so gripping the ground with those toes. You're gonna hinge at the hips, the bottom of the butt goes up to the ceiling. The shoulders come back, back of the heart lifts. Still feeling the heels pressing into the ground, feeling the shins press into the stick. If you have the block, you're squeezing it. Pulling the ribs up. As you pull your arms into the stick, it's helping to pull the shoulders back. Take a deep breath, slowly coming up. All right, got some nice pops there. Okay, so we did the warrior as the warm-up. So let's go into the leg lifts this time. So this is where you're laying on your side, and your leg is going up and down. Okay, so getting your hips stacked. Want to make sure you're not pinching the shoulders, so pull it down. Make sure the ribs aren't flaring out, so pull them in. Tailbone down. You can always bend the knees if you need to. The heels in line with hip. And we want the movement purely from the hip down with the toes pointing straight ahead. I'm doing about 5 here. You can always place your fingers on your hamstring to lift up into your fingers to get the hamstring engaged. We'll go into external rotation. Try not to let the hips fall backwards, so readjusting without locking the knee out. Again, putting your hand on your hamstring if you'd like. Doing 5 there. And then going into internal rotation. The hip will want to fall forward, so adjusting, bringing it back. 5, and then just keep going through that. Well, now we'll rest and go to the other side. Ooh. 3, 2. Okay, so pull the tailbone down. Ribs in, neck in line with spine, shoulders down. Start with the toes forward. You can have your hand on your hip, you can put it on your hamstring, you can do a little of both. Relax your jaw. External rotation, try not to fall back. And then internal rotation with that inner thigh. Try not to fall forward. Going back to center, just cycle through it. Wow. All right, we'll do a little bit of cat-cow and then get into kneeling table for like the second half. So hands and knees. so the elbows facing each other. Pull the shoulders back, lifting the neck. Oops, toes pointed. You can do a little bit of cat-cow. I forgot we're doing that first. Nice and light on the hands. And then we can tuck the toes under if it's comfortable and get into a kneeling table for the last few seconds. So fit to the elbows facing each other. You're gonna breathe in, pull the shoulders towards the hips, lifting the ribs to the spine, staying long and tall. What? 2?
Okay, then I can tuck my toes up?
Yeah. Yeah, just only if it's comfortable. If you can, that's what that means. If you can. If you can't, then don't. Okay, so warrior 3. So here you can hold. If you want to add movement, you can. The movement, you start with the knee up. And extending back. Making sure that the lifted leg doesn't open up, that hip doesn't come up. Pull the ribs in, shin is forward. Every time I look at my foot, I start to fall, so I'm going to stop looking at my foot. There we go. Breathing, lengthening, and that shin forward. Get that inner thigh working back, not inner thigh. There we go, that's a little better. I said I was going to do movement and then I just held the whole time. Okay, walk around. Great. Move the other leg. 10 seconds. Get your head stacked over hips. Wow, my foot's really slanted. Get your heel under your hips. There we go. Shift forward. Extending back through the back leg. Making sure your hips are lined up. Toes pointing down, the ribs are in. And lifting out of the leg that's on the ground. There we go. Oh, it looks better. Gotta get 10 seconds. And walking out of that one. Whew. Okay, supine bridge. We'll start in the tilt and then bring the hips up. Whew. All right, squeeze the shoulders down. Arms in. Belly button to the spine, thighs out. You're going to pull the heels towards your butt. Shoulders are down. Once you get your pelvis tilted, your arms can be extended or bent. You're going to start bringing those hips up. Try to keep the chest open and wide. Pulling the tailbone down if you'd like. Still pulling the heels towards your butt gently. If it starts to cramp, then don't pull that hard. Come down. And then both hips are evenly working up. The forehead pulls towards the heart. Shoulders pull down. Slowly coming down. It's feeling better. Stand up. Now we're going to go into slow deadlifts. So grab your stick. I paused it, so I'll let you get into it. Grab your stick, because I need a moment. Okay, here we go. Standing tall, standing mountain. And the hinge at the hips. This way. Pulling the stick into your legs, the bottom of the butt working up. If you had to stick on your back. You're trying to get your back nice and flat or neutral. Which is really hard. There we go. Drawing those legs in and then slowly going into movement up and down. Breathing out as you come up. You got 2 seconds. Okay. Good, 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 good. Next up, we got that side lunge again. So we'll start with our legs nice and wide. I'm gonna start with my right leg turning forward this way. And then my back leg, you're gonna angle the back foot. Knees tracking between first, second toe. I'm going to turn away from that front leg, making sure the knee isn't collapsed in so that outer hip turns down. The back leg, you're squeezing your butt, working that inner thigh back. Try not to let that hip come forward. And then as you bend the knee, the front heel pulls back in space. The back arch pulls towards the heel. So you're getting like this pull. You can activate the back thigh, outer thigh. If you want to pull the tailbone down, you can do that as well. Bring the arms out. Knee as you straighten the leg if you want to. You're pulling the heel, otherwise just holding with the bent knee. Hips are clicking today. Alright, so you can straighten the leg and then bring the foot back to center and go to the other side. Basically. 5 seconds. Back leg, inner thigh back, hip point up. Turning away from the front leg, working the inner thigh back and the outer thigh, arms out. Pull, and then come forward. You're still pulling that heel back. You're pulling your arch towards your heel. Pulling those ribs in, chest up. It's really great on those inner thighs. 5. Straighten the leg, pivot the foot, and then rock your legs together, walk around. Whew, ooh, my heart rate, okay. Kneeling table again. So here you can do a few different things. You can do cat-cow if you want, throw it in there, some variations. You can do a knee lift. Can't do the knee lift. Another thing you can do is also bring that leg out to the side. That's a really nice one. And do some cat-cow there. It's up to you. All right, here we go. 3 seconds. 2. 1. So cat-cow. Toes are pointed. The leg out. Knee. Ten seconds. Warrior 3 again. Yeah! I'm feeling you. I feel the same way. Okay. I'm like, really? Okay. It's okay. We're almost done. It's just this and then bridge and then we'll restore. Okay. So again, you can add movement or not. I'll try and add movement again, but I might get stuck just holding, which is okay too. It's probably better to hold before you add movement anyways. Bring that outer hip down. Tailbone down, lifting out of the hip that's on the ground. Extending through the top of your head. Keeping your shin forward on the leg that's on the floor. 5 seconds. Don't do that. Okay. Walk around. Like, I feel like I'm finally warm for that now that it's been like a half hour. Jeez, why is it so hard? Okay, 5. Here we go, other leg. Bring that knee up. And extend it back. Woo. Forgot the sides always hurt. 20 seconds. Okay.
Oh my God. That was amazing.
That's cool. Yeah! All right, last one.
Getting better.
Supine bridge, then you can just stay there and get into restorative unless you want to do something else for restorative. It's up to you. All right. Okay. Scoot the shoulders down, heels down. Lapping onto the block, you're going to pull the belly button to the spine, ribs in, shoulders nice and wide. So you're going to try to feel the core engage a little bit. It's not like it's going to be firing like crazy, but you don't want to feel any rounding or arching away from the floor. So trying to bring awareness to your back. You can slowly come up to bridge. Here you can do movement or just hold and bridge if you'd like. Remembering to compact those abs, work the heels evenly into the floor. Draw the inner thighs into the block so that it's not the tops of the legs squeezing. And if you're coming down, trying to get both sides evenly engaged. 3 seconds. Okay, go ahead, relax. And I'll dim the lights and pull your card of the day. Air, creativity. The winds of change billow as air fills your wings and directs your journey. Work with this medicine through meditation and connection with the astral world. The power of air sweeps through your imagination, gracing you with fresh ideas and awakening your creative juices. Disregard doubts about your ability, as your fears will blow you off course. Instead, breathe in inspiration. Stand firmly in the eye of the storm and know your ideas and visions are valid. When you truly get creative, a gateway to real magic opens and beckons you to a world you have been longing to discover. Call upon air to assist you with all aspects of ingenuity. Paint, draw, write, dance, and be free as the creative spirits of air fuel your imagination, encouraging you to make wishes and to dream big. You are being urged to take your head out of the clouds and leap into action so that air can usher in all that is needed for you to fly towards your goals. This is a time of fertility as air blows you towards new beginnings. Throw caution to the wind and watch as your visions manifest into reality. The element of air is vital for our survival, for without it, we would all perish. On a very deep level, each breath in reminds us of our communion with nature. All living beings are dependent on air for their existence. Air governs the magic of the four winds. It is the common denominator that binds all things together. From tempestuous winds, hurricanes, and tornadoes to a fresh, gentle breeze, this element is the breath of life. From our first breath of birth to our last. Other meanings for this card. Work with the element of air to still the mind. Meditate daily. A perfect time to begin new projects. Trust the images you see in your mind. Get creative. Go into nature. Listen to the wind. Take long hilly walks. Parachute, skydive. Take a risk and follow your dreams. Upon the breeze, whispers talk, parachute, skydive, hilly walk. Air fuels the mind, brings clarity, enhancing creativity. Taking a deep breath, you can begin to bring awareness back into your fingers and toes and your body. Your breathing. At your own pace, you can slowly come up to seated. Wiggle it out, wiggle your shoulders. Thanks for coming. Much love to you. Yeah. Have a great day.